Princess departed Chile on March 5th with more than 1,000 passengers and 878 crew aboard. This was just 2 days before the coronavirus was declared a pandemic. Jill Morgan from the UK was one of them.
At the time we got on the ship, there were no cases of COVID in South America and no advice not to travel. And we were having a wonderful time until we got to the Falklands, and then which was on the 13th. And then on the Sunday, we were refused entry to Puerto Madryn in Argentina. And we've been refused entry ever since then.
Halfway through the ship's South American journey, concerns of the global outbreak grew. And on March 12th, Princess Cruises, the ship's owner, said they would be voluntarily suspending all cruises. The Coral Princess then made its way to its final destination, Buenos Aires, on March 19th. But only Argentinian passport holders were allowed to disembark. Then on April 2nd, as the boat heads for Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at least a dozen people on the ship test positive for the coronavirus. The Coast Guard then denies it entry, citing medical concerns.
As I speak to you at this moment, we have no idea where we're going or what the plans to get us home are.
The next day, 2 people die on board.
Just to share, which is that 2 of our guests passed away last evening while being treated in the medical center. All of us at Princess Cruises are very saddened of these events, and Princess Cruises care team members has been assigned to the guests' family to support them at a difficult time.
On April 4th, the ship is finally allowed to dock in the port of Miami.
The mood is very concerned, very anxious. People want to go home, and they're also anxious at home, family and friends who are trying to reach out and support their loved ones on the boat.
Kiwan Nam and Erin Korn are worried about her parents. We understand, Kiwan, that your dad is one of the passengers on that ship who's contracted COVID-19. How is he doing?
He's not doing so well. He's not been getting the medical attention that he needs. They're understaffed. They only had 5 medical staff people for 2,000 passengers and crew members. There's just not enough people to check on everybody that's sick and also the healthy passenger.
What's the most difficult part of the symptoms that he's experiencing right now?
High fever, nausea, dizziness, dehydration, coughing, and just can't keep food down.
At this point, the U.S. Center for Disease Control will not allow passengers to disembark and get on commercial flights.
This will unfortunately result in further delays in disembarkation and onward travel for many guests as we work through this unfortunate situation. As a result, guests who are scheduled to leave Miami on commercial flights today will not be disembarking at this time.
Some sick passengers are evacuated to area hospitals by ambulance, but for one that had reportedly waited several hours for medical care, it was too late. TRT World reached out to Princess Cruises to learn more about their protocol for passengers with the coronavirus. Their public relations department responded, quote, "Our focus right now is on the health and safety of our guests and crew on board, so we cannot accommodate an interview at this time." On Sunday evening, we checked in with Kiwan and her husband Erin to see how her dad was doing. They told me his condition had not improved.
I said, you know what? You need to call down at the medical ward before this gets worse. So they came up and they checked his temperature. He took Tylenol, so his temperature wasn't so high and his blood pressure was okay, but they heard crackling in his lungs. So they took him down.
What has motivated your decisions right now in terms of getting your father the care that he needs?
Another family lost their father today, and they waited for medical help for over 4 hours when they knew it was an emergency. And they finally had to call 911 from their cell phone outside of the boat and say, this is an emergency, you need to get my father ASAP. And they came and took him to the hospital, and then he passed away And it just took too long. Nobody called him back. We can't have that happen to him.
The ordeals left many passengers frustrated, wondering when their loved ones will be evacuated and hoping when they do, it's not too late.